Hello and welcome to another unhallowed episode of the Hellion Rebellion Rock and Roll Association, brought to you by your thing in charge, Hollygeist. Wow. It's a day by day apocalypse. I decided to look at a bunch of political crap today, and I'm just mad as hell. This country has lost its damn mind, lost its way. It's definitely not Christian anymore, and when you've fallen so low in the depths of your psyche and all of these outside influences are coming in and you don't know how to rise back up, you gotta listen to music that'll help you cope with the reality that you are now in, or what I am now in. And so tonight I am going to share with you technical death metal. Hopefully this rights my mind a little bit or soothes me a little bit. We'll find out. So we're going to talk about a compilation or a record company called Relapse Records. Relapse would get started around 1990. They came out of Upper Darby, Pennsylvania, the land of scrapple and steel. Pennsylvania, that is. Um, Relapse Records is a rags to riches story. They started off in a basement. I don't know if it was Pennsylvania where they started, but you know, they started off as any other record company with 7 inches and demos and singles. And after all these years, they're still with us, and they are one of the top purveyors of grindcore, death metal, extreme music. They're right up there with Century Media. They're right up there with Nuclear Blast. All the great death metal record labels. Technical death metal, and how convenient that the first two songs on this are considered technical death metal. Oh, this is these compilations are called Contaminated. There's 1.0, 2.0, 3. This is 3.0. 3.0 is probably one of the more famous ones because it's a double CD, double record. The first two are kind of rare. They're hard to find anyway. Relapse would put these out, I think, once a year, just to showcase what they're promoting that year. And this one was incredibly popular because it was very cheap, and it's a double CD. They're usually not doubles. There's like 50 something songs on here. Okay, technical death metal. Technical death metal is often described. It's I'm probably not gonna say the right things. Gonna butcher it. Technical death metal is what you get if Dream Theater or Rush were playing death metal music. You have these virtuoso guitar players, you have these incredible drummers, high production. Most of this kind of music really wouldn't get their legs until probably in the late 90s and early 2000s, after the initial death metal thing happened in the late 80s and early 90s. Uh, they use tons of arpeggios. They do what they call pick sweeps on the guitars. What else would you? Polyrhythms. Even though all extreme music uses a form of polyrhythm, the best way I can describe a polyrhythm is that you have a chunk of music, and then you have another chunk of music, and then you have another chunk of music, and maybe in between, like there's these strange bridges, and then that repeats itself over and over and over, instead of your classic music, bridge, chorus, music, bridge, chorus. It's this song, this song, this song, bridge, chorus, this song, this song. They call it polyrhythm. Technical death metal just utilizes tons of that. That's the best I can describe that. So the first band I'm going to play tonight hails from Greenville, South Carolina, and they are called Nile, as in the River Nile. They've been around since 1993. Again, they wouldn't really blow up until, I don't know, 98, 99, somewhere around there. And I find this band to be incredibly interesting because their entire gimmick, or what they do, is talk about the history of Egypt and the folklore of Egypt, the religion of Egypt. It's just all about Egypt. Don't know how a bunch of burned out headbangers in South Carolina decided to be obsessed with the country of Egypt, but Nile is. And more specifically, the age of pharaohs. There's some crossover with history, with like Sumerian. I think Sumerian culture preceded Egyptian culture. I honestly can't understand any of the lyrics. I'm envious of people who can understand death metal lyrics. So I have to read the lyrics. But like I said, it's all about the gods of Egypt. It's about their spells. It's about their culture, their history. And it's kind of fascinating, actually. Even if you hated this music, just reading the lyrics is interesting. So this song that I'm about to play from this Contaminated compilation is called Chapter for Transforming into a Snake. And it's a spell where you can transform yourself into a snake and get away from your enemies, and I kind of think it's a metaphor for becoming the River Nile, but I can't quite, I really don't know. So let's check out Nile from Greenville, South Carolina. that's pretty brutal. But can you hear what I'm saying? Like the polyrhythms, the arpeggios, the various moments that they do all these crazy blast beats, and it doesn't sound like it should work, but it kind of does. That's technical death metal. All right, the second band I want to talk about is a band called Origin. Origin hails from Topeka, Kansas. I don't know much about Kansas. Um, they're a little bit older than Nile. So I'm going to go ahead and say they're 92. They came from 1992, 91, somewhere around there. And they too are still around to this day. And Origin's probably a better example of technical death metal than even Nile, because Nile sort of falls back on more traditional death metal. So let's go ahead and check out Topeka, Kansas's Origin.
Human beings are a disease, a cancer of this planet. You are a plague, and we are the cure.
Wow, that drummer is that drummer's crazy. Uh, but yeah, that is a much better example of what technical death metal really is. Just it's so choppy. It changes on a dime. Um, there's all these parts that start repeating themselves. Yeah, Origin's a great band. So yeah, again, I don't understand people who can listen to that and be like, I know exactly what that guy is saying. I have to read the lyrics with all this stuff. Anyway, I know it's not for everybody, but I hope you liked it, enjoyed it. Hope I gave you a little smile, and I have to admit it made me feel a little bit better after seeing all this heinous hate that is encapsulating the world right now. All right, love you, peace be with you, and I will see you next time.